Hi folks, Jeremy Tyler, Certified Financial Planner, coming to you from Springfield, Missouri with Wise Wealth Asset Management. For those of you that are clients, we're going to be sending out your dividend reports. You'll get an email notification letting you know that you have that report available in your portal. And also Sarah will be reaching out starting next week to schedule our review appointments, or our first review appointment, and those dates will be throughout the month of April and May. The two specific stock market technical type of conversations we'll have today. We want to look at Apple and how its chart typically correlates to the S&P 500's returns. And then we're going to dive into the concept of RSI, which is Relative Strength Index. It's an indicator, and I'll show you how we use that to determine where we may be in a market cycle. So the first chart that I want to look at here is Apple stock in line with the S&P 500. On this graph, you'll notice that the S&P 500 is the orange chart, or orange line, I should say, and the bluish purple line is Apple's price. We're not really interested in a percentage change or anything here. We just want to see that on this first line that we'll pull up, back in August 17th of 2022, I think one could easily notice that as Apple goes, the market goes. This is an old saying that's been around in our business a long time. So you'll notice that Apple was at a high point, as well as was the S&P 500. And we'll just look at 4 different points in time where this has taken place. On our second line that we'll pull up here, on January 4th of 2023, Apple had hit a low, the market was at a low. We'll go to our third line, which is August 1st of 2023. Apple at a high, market at a high. And then our last reference point, October 27th of 23, Apple pulls down to a low, as does the market pull down to a low. The second chart, so what I find interesting right now, and does just hold up with the thesis that we have, that they're pumping the market through a very select set of stocks. And I know I keep saying this, and frankly, I can't believe that it's still going on. We're now down to 2 stocks. It's Facebook, or Meta, and Nvidia. But look at what has happened now in this calendar year. So the first couple of months of 2024, the S&P is actually up just over 7%, whereas Apple is down 12%. If we go back to that chart previously, we've never seen a divergence like that at all. As Apple goes, the market goes, and we're not seeing that now. So again, that lets you know that this is a risky market. There's a very few select stocks that they are holding up, and I mean they by the market makers, the government, all the folks that are pumping liquidity in, and we can address that in another video to show you how they're doing it. But it's risky. If Nvidia falls and Facebook falls, this whole thing's going to blow up. And let's look at a couple other charts. So let's dive in and look at what is the definition of Relative Strength Index, or RSI. RSI has 5 key points here. The gist of it is going to be bullet point number 3. We're looking at 2 data points. So if RSI on a chart is above 70, an asset, an ETF, a stock, whatever it is you're using it for, said to be overbought, meaning you should expect the price to go down at some point in the near term. If it is under 30, it's oversold. You would expect the price to be coming back up somewhere in the near term. So there's 3 charts currently that we would want to apply the RSI concept to. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not foolproof. It's not as if though if it's above 70, it's absolutely going to go down. But you can see when it's extremely held above 70 or quite above 70. Let's look at the S&P 500 chart here first. I'm going to use what we call a weekly chart. So each candle on here, which is the red or green bars, represent 1 week. It's really hard to get an RSI above 70 on a weekly chart. So when we see that, we really feel the market's overvalued and it should be coming back down. This chart here, indicated by the circle that will populate on the chart, shows that the S&P 500 is at a 77 weekly RSI. We have not seen a value like that for quite some time. That again lets you know that the market is overvalued. Our second chart we'll pull up would be the NASDAQ. We always use the QQQ symbol to represent the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ here is represented by a RSI of 73. So again, if you'll look down at the box at the bottom where we circled 73, or the area where it indicates 73, that lets you know when it's above this box, overbought, below, oversold. Now the chart that is going to be the most telling of all this, in my opinion, of how is the market being pumped up when Apple's going down and Microsoft, and we've lost Google. Really, we're down to two companies. It's NVIDIA and Facebook. But the semiconductor industry, look at the weekly chart here on the semiconductors. Keep in mind, or if you remember, that's NVIDIA, AMD, all of the various chip makers that are out there. Here we're going to look at SOXX, which is the semiconductor ETF. Yeah, I can show you the weightings in there, but that's not the point today. The RSI, get this, the weekly RSI on SOXX is 79.93. That's extremely overbought for a weekly RSI. It's a great opportunity to position ourselves to benefit as this goes down. And that's exactly what we're doing. You guys know this. As the market goes up, our accounts go down. We're going the other way. This thing is going to come back to earth. I think it will happen really soon. So in summary, by looking at RSI values of the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, as well as the semiconductors, which is what's driving the other two indexes, things are overvalued. This is us looking at data points in an effort to determine what we should be doing to position your accounts. My account is positioned the same way as yours. So really what it tells us, the market is overvalued. It's not a time to be purchasing assets. If anything else, it is a time to be shorting assets, which is what we are doing now. I hope that everybody enjoyed the video. I look forward to seeing you all soon in our meetings. And until next time, have a good day.